Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and we're here with another narrated Pokemon battle. So this is going to be an underused battle against Gamer MZ. And I wanted to try out some Pokemon I haven't used in a while. Haven't used Mega Pidgeot in a while. Primarina, haven't used that one in a while either. And I've never used Celebi, so I'm interested in seeing what Celebi does for us in this battle. So I'm going to lead my Mamoswine as it does the best compared to my opponent's team, but my opponent actually leads off with the one Pokemon that kind of gives Mamoswine a problem. I'm going to go ahead and set up Stealth Rocks because I feel like Stealth Rocks would be really nice to have, but my opponent goes for a Will-O-Wisp and miss, unfortunately for my opponent, but that means I'm going to go Primarina. Primarina doesn't care about being burnt, and we don't really care about an overheat if my opponent decides to go on the offensive. Of course, Primarina doesn't really want to take a Thunderbolt, but Primarina can, because it's such a specially bulky Pokemon. But I'm going to actually go Hydro Pump this time, and we're going to actually connect, so that's actually very great. This is a choice specs Primarina, so there's no way Rotom Heat will live that, and that means Primarina is looking very good on this team. Of course, Sylveon might be able to take a hit, but yeah, Primarina looks very good. Choice specs, and not a lot that my opponent has that wants to take hits from this thing. So now my opponent is going to send out Porygon 2, and I'm just going to go ahead Hydro Pump, get as much damage as I can, see how much it takes, and it does a little bit, like around half-ish maybe. But yeah, the Psychic's not going to do much to us, but I do know Porygon 2 often runs Recover, so we're going to lose this if we try to do the Hydro Pump fight to knock this thing down. Mainly because we're burnt and Hydro Pump might miss, and we don't really have a lot of Hydro Pumps, so I'm going to go ahead, switch into Muk. Muk is a very bulky Pokemon too, and this one actually has the Poisium Z. So I've got my Muk out here, and my opponent's going to actually go into Blastoise, and what I'm going to do is go ahead, pop my Z move, mainly because my opponent has nothing that wants to switch in to the Acid Downpour. So if I hit Porygon 2, it would have been really nice, and anything my opponent decided to bring in to take a hit from this thing, if we can get rid of it, that's going to be really great. And my opponent decides to go into Blastoise. This is probably his bulky wall Pokemon, his physical wall, and we're going to take it out right off the bat with that Acid Downpour. So right off the bat, my opponent lost his physically bulky Pokemon, and yeah, Muk's looking pretty good, and that just means that Chandelure also looks a lot better now that Blastoise is gone. And it also helps Primarina out too. But yeah, we're going to stay in with Muk because Muk can take anything if this is a special attacking set. And it ends up being a special attacking set, so it goes for the Dragon Pulse. We're going to knock off, and we see that it doesn't have an item, so I'm thinking it might be... Oh, never mind. It had a Quick Claw. That's right. It tells you at the end. So, yeah, this thing had the Quick Claw. We got rid of that, so we don't have to worry about... Well, we don't have to worry about it, going first anyway. We got the Shadow Sneak, and the Gooey is actually slowing us down as well. So, yeah, that's not a problem for Muk. Muk's already a pretty slow Pokemon, so the Gooey doesn't hurt me that much. So now my opponent goes into Tornadus. And Tornadus is a Pokemon I don't really see that often. I don't know exactly what it does. I'm going to actually stay in with Muk because Muk is is a pretty bulky Pokemon. I'm going to knock off, and we see that has a Scarf. So we're going to just Shadow Sneak here and finish it off. But yeah, Tornadus is a Pokemon I don't see that often. So I was kind of interesting what it does, but yeah, I guess a lot of them come Scarf with Hurricane maybe. But now my opponent goes into Sylveon. Muk here is doing such a good job here. I'm just going to let Muk do what it can, and my opponent's actually going to pop the Z move and going to go for a Normalium Z. So this is probably a Breakneck Blitz powered up by the Hyper Beam is what I'm guessing. I'm not totally sure, so I think this thing might also have Pixelate, so that might be giving it Stab. But yeah, Muk is going to actually survive. So that just shows you how bulky Muk is. And this isn't even my Assault Vest Muk. This was my Poison MZ. So if it could live a hit like that, that just shows you how good this Pokemon is. Alolan Muk is a really... I feel like it's underrated in terms of like all the Alolan Pokemon. But now Porygon 2 is my opponent's last Pokemon. And I'm really proud of Muk, but there's no point in keeping it alive. This thing was able to bring such a big differential between my opponent's team and mine, so I'm going to let it go down to the Ice Beam, and we're going to go to our Mega Pidgeot. So Mega Pidgeot's a Mega. I haven't used it in a while, but this thing is a really, really good Mega. It's got 135 special attack, 135 speed, so it's fast, hits hard. It's a good Mega. So we're going to actually U-turn. I see the Ice Beam. I know that Hurricane might not take this thing out. I know Porygon has really, really good special defense, especially with the Eviolite. So I'm actually going to U-turn out, go Chandelure to take the Ice Beam, and that way I can hit this thing with like something, or I can just go Trick, because I do have Trick on the Chandelure. We have the Scarf. We're going to get rid of the Eviolite, so it's going to be a lot better, and my opponent will have to lock himself into something, and he ends up locking himself into Toxic. So that's actually really good for me, because now I can just freely stay in and just hit as much as I want. Unfortunately, Muk is gone, so we can't go into Muk to take that, but we could just Fire Blast. My opponent's stuck with Toxic. So honestly, there's not much my opponent can do at this point, is what I'm trying to say. Eventually, I'm going to hit it. Eventually, if I have to, I can bring in something else. So we're going to miss that Fire Blast. That's kind of annoying, but yeah, so this is actually a pretty decent game. Muk did really good. I mean, yeah, Muk is actually a surprisingly really good Alolan form that I feel like helps Muk a lot. And right here, you just saw it, Muk doing some work. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I will see you in the next Pokemon video.